Namaste, friends. Already, the world is facing this COVID crisis. It is said that nearly 6 million people have been infected from COVID, and already 3.65 lakh people have died because of COVID. Not to mention many comorbid cases. Of course, watching all this, we are also seeing what's the condition in India. Slowly and gradually, the numbers of infected ones are rising as the lockdown started to slowly freeing up, or let's say it started to opening up. The number of COVID cases is also started to rise. At this point of time, India is facing dual crisis along with COVID. There is a dual crisis that is on the eastern coast. We have seen a massive Amphan cyclone which affected the states of states of Orissa and West Bengal, claiming nearly 74 lives, also livelihood, many communication channels, roads, houses, etc. etc. Today, many people are under shelter homes. Many are facing the challenge of food, fodder, etc. etc. At the same time, there is no social distancing. There needs to be a strong testing to understand whether there has been any chances of COVID case or positive infection spread. Otherwise, it is going to be a devastating one. These facts are on the eastern coast. COVID, eastern coast, India is already in a turmoil. It is also facing some tough question from the neighbors like China, something called as Locust Swam attack, which is said to be highest or gravest in the past 26 or 25 years. That means this locust effect or this locust attack is going to be so massive that it is going to affect the Indian economy, Indian farmers, food security planning, and also all the grown, ready to be harvest rabi crops in the north and northwestern frontier region, or in the states like Rajasthan, Punjab, Chandigarh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. Even it is extending up to Maharashtra, Telangana, and probably Karnataka. The situation seems to be grim. We have to take a strong step to contain the spread of locust swarm attack. Let's discuss what is this attack, why this happened, what are the effects, how to contain, and possibilities for the future, lessons to be learned for the future. All these aspects let's discuss. Welcome to the discussion. This is Shreyank S. Ranade. Basically, the first question, what is this locust? Around us, we have seen millions and billions of insects, out of which this locust, it's a variety or it's a type of grasshopper, which is larger in size, which is different from the regular grasshopper, which is known to have a very strong tendency to fly for the longer and larger distance. This is how we differentiate this locust from the others. Even in India, we have nearly 4 to 5 types of locusts. Bombay locust, other locust, this. But this time, the attack is from the desert locust, which is considered to be one of the deadliest and harmful among the locusts. So this is not from India, but anyhow, India is going to suffer. What happened with this locust? Why this sudden news we are getting? From past 1 month, we might have observed the news in small columns saying that there has been a locust attack going on in the states of Rajasthan, Chandigarh, Punjab, Gujarat. Today, the number has increased, the gravity has increased, the massivity has increased. Basically, these desert locusts breeded or replicated or multiplied somewhere in the eastern African regions like Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Ethiopia. These are the places where these desert locusts breeded, multiplied, and they started to grow from small pupa till they reaches the mature stage where they can fly high for larger distance for longer time. Basically, that is the region where with good moisture, with availability of water, a little water or a water which is quite required for its eggs to grow, and also the condition of heat which suffice the massive growth of these desert locusts in that region, from where once they started to grow, once they started to replicate, once they started to breed, they need food. They start traveling in search of food. They generally use that tendency of airflow where it is very much conducive for them to fly easily. Taking that path today in the winter season, or let's say during this time, North India and Northwest India sees something called as western disturbances. The winds blowing somewhere from the Mediterranean region, with them they bring the moisture, that is the geographical factor. With them that wind comes and they shower on our rabi crops, wheat, sugarcane, etc., which help the farmers. And also it is also the time of harvest. Along with the western disturbance, they took that turbulence or that easy way to fly towards India. See, their path was not direct towards India. They first started to fly towards Yemen, women. They searched for the food. Of course, they might have got something. They started to move en masse, we say, no? Flying in large numbers, huge numbers, in lakhs, in millions. That is why we call it swam. That is why we call it herd. That herd started flying towards Yemen, women, then to Iran, then to Pakistan. Now it is in India. The challenge is before us to control in the right time before they completely erode and end up all our agricultural products. This is a grim situation India is facing right now, along with COVID and other possible aspects which nation is going through, along with the economic aspects, along with livelihood questions. Of course, when they traveled, they have to come back to the fertile India after finishing the crops, green availability in the Pakistan. Now it is before us. This is how the journey began. This is how the locust of Swam took some ignition towards India. The question is why that condition is favorable? Why scientists are saying that possibility of global warming, possibility of good positive Indian dipole last year? These are the factors they attribute, and they say that because of the global warming there was good rains. Because of great Indian dipole, or say positive Indian dipole, there was no El Nino. Last year we found that there was a massive rain even in India that helped them. See, wherever there is a rain, we see even in India, once the monsoon comes in the first week of June, we also see that most of the insects, most of the mosquitoes multiply, they breed, they give birth to offsprings through which many infections grow. Malaria, dengue, chikungunya, etc. That means that was a very conducive ground because of global warming they attribute. They say good availability of moisture. They say positive Indian dipole sufficed. Therefore, there was a massive outburst of desert swamps, or let's say swamps, in great number of those locusts. That locust, which is different from normal grasshopper which we see around. Let me put this point very clear. If they are in 1, 2 or 3, 4, 5 numbers, they are not going to affect. They are going to be the part of that food cycle which is set up by the nature itself. But when they are in great numbers, that's a great challenge, huge challenge, even for nations like us, having good technology, possibility of all the warning system and etc., etc., even then we are going to suffer. Our food security is going to take a blow. All the crops which is ready to be harvested is going to be devastated by the attack of these locust swarms. It is said again, coming back to the point, why this is so grave, what makes it different from the past. Say, it is said that in past 20-25 years, there was no such attack in huge numbers. Already, as recorded by the administrations, it is said that there is already 50,000 hectares of land has been demolished or spoiled or attacked by these locust swarms in just within 5 to 6 days, or let's say in past week. That means it's a danger for other parts of India. If they start entering into hinterland, it will become very much difficult for us to fight. They are entering in large number, because we say swam means in within 1 kilometer area, there may be about 80 million locusts present. If they are present in such a huge number, and if they are coming like an army, and estimates also say that there are going to be some 10 to 20 such kind of army or swamps which is going to come to India, because there is no such vast vegetation available in Pakistan. There is no such vast agricultural produce ready right now, because already it has been demolished by those locusts entered through that route. See, if they are in large number, that is also one of the largest challenge. At the same time, they consume the food of their own size. If a locust is weighing around 2 grams to 3 grams, it will consume the food of 3 grams of that food crop per day, not in a lifespan. Its lifespan is around 3 months. Last year when they came, it is said that nearly estimation was 3.5 lakh hectares was damaged. That is what the estimation said in the regions of Gujarat, Kerala, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and that region. That is what the estimation say. They spoiled like cumin, rapeseed, etc., etc. They spoiled those crops which was ready to be harvested, because locust, when they say once if it occurs, it will be for 2 years, because breeding will also go on simultaneously. This time they have come, they are going to consume the food of their own size. That means 2 grams per day by single locust. Please do that calculation for yourself. 80 lakhs within 1 kilometer in one swamp. That's the estimation, gross estimation. There can be larger number also. That's like an army, massive army. So they are going to consume the food of their own size per day. It is also estimated that within 1 kilometer, if we are saying that 80 million locusts are present, they are going to consume a food of nearly 35,000 people in a single day. That means it's a great devastating effect over the longer times. Even in the shorter times, its gravity and its danger is going to be a massive one. That country has to be ready, equipped. See, when we see that from Eritrea, Djibouti or that region, it started flying towards Yemen, Oman, then to Iran, then to Pakistan, probably to Afghanistan, then it started shifting towards India. So this was their trajectory. They used availability of western disturbances as a wind. At the same time, tomorrow if they are coming again in upcoming days, it may be probably because of the monsoon winds which they are taking the advantage of. Of course, we have attributed the factors like global warming and other aspects I have already discussed. These were the reasons. But when they come, what will happen? They'll start eating all the agricultural available products, agricultural crops which is ready to be harvested. Rice, sugarcane, wheat, all the rabi crops in that region is going to be devastated. They are going to consume it massively. Effect is going to be large and massive. Already, United Nations Epitome Organization, FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, has estimated that in 2019, Pakistan suffered around 2.3 billion pounds And this year too, it is going to suffer around 2 billion pounds, that much of damage through agricultural losses the Pakistan is going to face. That is what the estimation was given by the FAO. The condition with India will also be that much, or maybe larger than that or lesser than that, little somewhere around that only. But this 2 billion during this time is a great loss and great attack on Indian economy, on the livelihoods, on farmers, on food security, and all other related major aspects, including possibility of inflation, possibility of dip in the exports if there is no production, expected level of production. These are the challenges we are facing right now. But once they have entered, this could be the massivity with which they are going to attack. We are seeing the pictures, we are seeing the videos where they are coming in herds. Swamp means, that is why it is called swamps. They are coming and they are eating massively. They are destroying the croplands. They are destroying the crops. Standing crops have been demolished. It's like a direct attack on the farmers or direct attack on agriculture. Probably it is a nature's aspect, but as the estimates also say that locust breeding induced because of the human actions like global warming, changing weather patterns. We may say a lot of things. However, coming back to the point, what are the damage? Of course, I said nearly 2 billion pounds for Pakistan. See, we must also tell you that in the month of February once, and in the month of April and May twice, 2 times Pakistan has imposed a national emergency just because of coming of these swamps, just because of locust swamp attack. That means locust swarm is kind of a plague, global plague, which is going to affect vastly even for India and Indians. These swarm attack, global locust swarm, or let's say locust swarm attack in massive number, has been written even in some text like Quran, Bible, it has been mentioned. However, in 1931, then the British Indian government and also the region where India was undivided between India and today's Pakistan, there they established one locust warning center, locust warning organization, which is existed even today. In India, it is there in Jodhpur under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. Its paramount duty is to see that what are the chances this year that there gonna be locust attack, what are the actions need to be taken, what are the coordination it has to be done. These are the things which is supposed to be done by this locust warning organization. Somewhere down the line, I feel that it probably because of pandemic or even otherwise, it is beyond its capacity, that it failed to estimate or warn or take proper preventive measures to stop this kind of attack on India and Indian farmlands. Recently, while briefing, Agricultural Minister has attributed this factor that in the Balochistan, it has been the Pakistan's breeding ground for the locusts. Pakistan government did not take the initiative to suppress them or to use insecticides to kill them, terminate them. But fact of the matter, over the period of time, we are seeing that there has been no as such coordination between these countries, not just India and Pakistan, between Eritrea, Iran, Yemen, etc., regarding this effect. If these things are mentioned much earlier, thousands of years ago, that means this challenge is not virtual, this is serious, this is practical. And also since 1931, we have something called as warning system, locust warning system dedicated for this work. And even that organization is failing, means I don't think there is such necessity of having the organization, which is of no use, even for the farmers, even for the India, even for Indians. And if there is a lack of coordination, whole region is going to suffer, not just India. We are not seeing, or I'm not talking just in terms of political boundaries. But coming back to the point, once this suffering starts, We are seeing that video, we are seeing that pictures, images where farmers are coming out in large numbers and doing some sort of Indian jugad. Yes, some scientists and experts also say that for large sound, for huge sound like DJ and others, using of large sound, they can just move away from your area. That's in the short term, or let's say in small localized area, it can work. But in the long term or in the large area, government must use probably a massive insecticides using aeroplanes, helicopters, drones to contain them, contaminate them, kill them, probably to stop their breeding from happening. Today, the estimates are saying last year when they came, they spoiled around 3.5 lakh hectares of land. They say that those were the mature ones. Today, what they are entering, locusts are entering, they are of young stage. That means probability is that they may, if they are left alone, they may breed in India because northwest monsoon is coming. Water is going to log in the coming days, which can be conducive for them for the breeding. Even more and more locusts may emerge, may be produced, and next year also it is going to affect our crops. That should not happen. Therefore, it may be necessary for the government and administration to take the right action and contain them, probably by killing them using the insecticides. But by using the insecticides in large number, we may have the danger of inviting, or we may have end up putting that insecticides into our food cycle, which may end up becoming biomagnification, bioaccumulation even in our bodies. Hence, using of insecticides, or let's say very poisonous insecticides, we must have a rethinking for the future. Probably we may use something, some other agents. I don't know. I don't have the solution, but I'm just putting across this or jotting down that aspect or that idea. It is for the scientists and others to think about it. Some organic treatment, some organic way to contain these or contaminate them or contain them without getting side effects, without having negative edge, without having double edge effect. That has to be our future. For every sort of solution, we have to find some organic way so that it is not going to affect us in the future negatively, adversely, knowingly or unknowingly. That should not happen. Therefore, we need some organic solution to fight that situation. Also, on the other side, I am also seeing some pictures where people are catching those locusts and frying, eating. They're making some foods like, what do you say, locust chicken and all. So of course that is for their appetite or their food choices to decide. But that is in the short run or short term. That is not going to solve the problem. That is not going to solve the major issue of locust swarm attack on India, on Indian croplands. Even for the future, it has to be preventive. It has to be curative. We have to find some long-term solution, targeted approach of eliminating those breeding grounds of locusts. There needs to be coordination, because if we are today blaming that Balochistan is the breeding ground, we cannot simply say, because we had such organization to do the communication. We had that organization to warn the farmers. Today they may not have to come out by using some DJs or some making sounds. We could have avoided. We could have used that technology. Of course, it's a lockdown time. There was a tough time, but breeding and all other aspects, we see that since 1964 to 1997, there were 13 such instances of locust attack. Every time when they attack, it lasted for 2 years. That means breeding was also included. It is said that their lifespan is around 3 months, but they can give birth to many offsprings. And it may become invasive species even in India if we do not take action at the right time. There was a movie called Robo 2. It was released in the year 2019, somewhere around April-May 2019. It was quite related towards saving of birds. It gave a message saying that if we have the birds around us, they do control these such kind of pests. Today we may say we can use the birds to kill or say we can use them to feed. Locusts can be used to feed the birds, but we don't have the birds in that number. Every time when organisms become minute, its potentiality to replicate will be high. You can see small insects, but they will be in the large numbers. A single bird or a small herd of bird cannot finish all these locusts. So there was a message saying that we kill bird knowingly or unknowingly because of mobile radiation and etc., but we also end up giving a larger space for the multiplication of such kind of locust or any sort of insects which is going to come over us on our croplands, and everywhere it is going to infect us, it is going to attack us, it may eat all the food which is supposed to be left or produced for the human consumption. At the same time, we must also understand today bats are seen as the enemies of human beings. Bats are seen as the enemies of society, enemies of health. But fact of the matter, bats are considered vermins. Bats are considered to be carriers of many viruses. Of course, it has that special quality of carrying the virus. Nipah, Ebola, plague. Today, we are saying that bats are the carriers of corona. But fact of the matter, just by killing the bats, we are not going to find any solution. For the simple reason, bats are the pollinators. Bats distributes the seeds. Bats eats many such insects including mosquitoes. That means it is somewhere helping the farmers. For grape growers, bats are considered as vermins. But for other plants and other crop varieties, they pollinate, they disperse the seed, they help the natural process of this biodiversity. Hence, in the nature, we cannot consider anything without cause-effect relation. Everything will be having some cause-effect relationship. It is the man or it is the we who fail to understand that. Or sometimes even if we understand, we try to ignore that, put aside, thinking that we alone are supreme creatures. Whatever we do is for the good of ourselves. And that process, we are gradually destroying this biodiversity, which is no good. See, swarm attack of these locusts are not new. But between 2000 to 2018, there were no as such instances. But in 2019, there was an attack. 2020, we are seeing a massive attack which is said to be highest or massive in past 20-25 years. We have to take the measure. Massive insecticides may have to be used. Of course, it may have some sort of side effect. Today we are seeing that endosulfan has been banned. But fact of the matter, once it was used in parts of Kerala, coastal Karnataka, we are seeing the side effects even today. That means using anything must be with the caution. Organic solution must be found. Preventive, curatory, and also for the future, along with coordination, we must have some solution to fight the situation of locust swarm in the immediate effect, also in the long term, because tomorrow India may become the breeding ground for these locusts because of the availability of moisture, availability of rain. Monsoon is coming. So this is a situation today. If Pakistan is suffering around 2 billion pounds per year, India is going to suffer probably larger than that or nearly equivalent to that. It is yet to be known, but fact of the matter, during this tough time when India is aspiring to become Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, it is aspiring to become the manufacturing hub for the world. Every small jolt on the economy will be painful, both for India's growth story, India's trajectory, and also for the Indians. In this case, farmers are going to suffer. Government may have to give up more compensation, or through subsidies, or let's say with the help of insurance, it may have to give more to the farmers. those who have suffered. At the same time, food security is going to take a toll. It is not a small issue. These are the things which we are observing today. This is what India is going to face in the upcoming days. Post-pandemic world, we were planning something great, ambitious, pumped with the great growth story. But fact of the matter, small jolts are going to create some speed breakers for India's trajectory. It's a learning, it's a warning. And also, we are seeing that global warming, today Antarctica is turning green somewhere. Many bryophyte and other green cover is quite increasing. It is attributed to global warming. Ice shields are shielding away. Temperature is rising. That is what it is said. If there is going to be a dwindling of that icebergs, seawater is going to rise. Many low-lying parts, many low-lying islands, continents, including the western part of India, like low-lying parts like Gujarat, probably it may submerge. Of course, it will take around 100 to thousands of years, but this aspect is real, not virtual. Global warming has to be under the control. Human endurance may be high. Humans may have to reach the moon. They may have to go beyond the Milky Way. But every time when we are going to create some sort of reason for the nature to react, it is going to be devastating. Of course, global warming, the pollution and all other cause-effect related aspects has to be put under control. You may say directly there is no effect for global warming and locust attack, but probably because of the breeding in such large numbers, geographers and others attribute that global warming resulted in the conducive environment for them to breed in high numbers, outburst in high numbers, coming of them. Economic empire is very much high. India will lose many dollars. Estimation is yet to come, but 50,000 hectares of land is no small land, no small cropland. It is not dry land. When they come in search of food, they may also enter the hinterlands of India, inner lands of India, where contamination of, or let's say containing that locust may become difficult. But fact of the matter, it is an emergency situation. It should be handled like an emergency situation. Hence, it is necessary to act. Interestingly, we have to be very much serious about it. And I am quite sure that whatever the loss it has been occurred, farmers are going to be compensated. But fact of the matter, loss to the food security is beyond doubt. Today, there has been a situation of locust swarm attack that has to be dealt very effectively, because on the eastern coast, we have seen 74 deaths with coming of cyclone Amphan. On the western front, there may not be deaths or there may not be attack on humans, but food security is going to be devastating. It's a great challenge for India. This year is going to be very much challenging for India. We have to deal with very carefully. Otherwise, Atmanirbhar Bharata may become some sort of dependency over others, even for the food or even for some economic aid. So, explaining all these aspects, I hope I made all my points very clear. Hope you got all the aspects discussed. At the same time, I would like to know that what do you think about this locust attack? Do you think it is religiously amplified? Do you think it is scientific? Do you think that it is just a natural phenomena? Or do you think that it is because of human activities which resulted in the greater inducements of locusts to produce or multiply in great numbers? Or you please tell me what will be the effect on India and Indians and farmers, on food security, on government, on India's growth projectile. what it is going to happen. The things are yet to be cleared, but it is no bar for you to express your opinions. Once again, thank you very much for joining me. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind. This is Shreyanka S. Ranade signing off. I do plead, stay safe, stay home. Lockdown is getting relaxed. Not that Corona is getting relaxed. Follow some stringent norms for your own safety, also for the safety of your own family members. It is also something called as national duty at this tough time. Follow some social distancing, follow using masks, follow washing your hands, all the good practices which you have been practicing in past 1 or 2 months. The tough time is yet to come probably. The numbers are quite gradually rising. But it is also time for us to show the discipline and responsibility. Thank you for joining me in this discussion of locust attack. We have tried to understand what these locusts are, what is locust swamp, how it breed, how it attacked India, what are the effects on Indian farmers, and what are the results, what are the actions we need to take in the shorter and longer term, what Robo movie had said, why birds are necessary, why human have to reduce his unnecessary activity of global warming. All this cause-effect relationship we must understand, and I hope I made my point in the purview of geography, social science, sociology, in the aspect of economy, in the aspect of nationality, in the aspect of cross-boundary coordination, in the aspect of scientific, and also in the aspect of natural understanding. Thank you once again. Jai Hind. Shreyanka S. Ranade. Have a great day, great time. Let us all defeat Corona together. Stay home, stay safe. Jai Hind.